So I just picked up this Gotham Steel Crisper Tray. I'm going to compare it to the copper crisper I already have. Let's crack this open and see what's inside. Very familiar. So there you have it, the Gotham Steel Crisper Tray and the copper crisper. Can you tell the difference? If there's a difference, I'm going to find out. The Gotham Steel Crisper Tray and the copper crisper. Let's see how they compare. This is technically a review of the Gotham Crisper Tray, but I'm going to let my copper crisper tag along and compare and see if there's any difference between the two of them. Now, I've already done a review of the copper crisper, and I'll link that description below. This card was included in the packaging for the Gotham Steel Crisper Tray. In fact, it's even mentioned on the front of the packaging, 50 free recipes. When you go to this website, it forwards to the Gotham Steel store, and there is a PDF there, but none of the recipes in that PDF are for the crisper tray. So if you're expecting to find some recipes for the Gotham Crisper Tray inside, you're not going to find them. Can you tell the difference? Which one is which? Take a guess. That is the Gotham Crisper Tray, that is copper crisper. The only way I can tell the difference is that the handle on the copper crisper goes up while the handle on the Gotham Crisper Tray goes out. Keep in mind as you're watching this, if you can't remember which one is the Gotham Crisper Tray and which one is the copper crisper, I always have the Gotham Crisper on the left and the copper crisper on the right. Although I know a lot of people are interested in homemade dishes, I'm going to start off with a little test of frozen French fries. Gotham Crisper Tray, copper crisper. Those go in there for $4.50, about 9 to 12 minutes, and then we see what happens. They're both out of the oven, and as expected, they look pretty much the same. They both came out nice and crisp. That's the Gotham Crisper Tray, copper crisper. Gotham Crisper Tray, copper crisper. All right, now I'm going to try something a little bit more challenging for the crisper trays. I'm going to try some hamburgers. I got the oven at 350. I like to do my hamburgers a couple different ways. This one is coated, this one is uncoated. This is the Gotham Crisper Tray. In the copper crisper, I've got another coated one, another uncoated one. Drop them in there for about 20 minutes. Now we wait. They look pretty good. Let's see how they look. All right, here's some sizzle, smells good. Let's see if these things need to go in just a little bit longer. They've been in 20 minutes now, put them there 5 minutes. Gotham Crisper Tray, copper crisper. No sticking, that's good. Grease down in the lower pan. Let's see how well that cleans up too. All right, let's see how the Gotham Crisper Tray cleans up, because that's kind of nasty. Look at that, see how that comes out. That's actually not too bad. Coming right off. Of course, this is brand new though. The new ones always work well. Let's try the copper crisper. Now, I've used the copper crisper a lot more than the Gotham Crisper Tray because I've had it longer. So this has had some wear and tear on it, and it still cleans up pretty well. Not quite as easy. It's still coming off, but it's not just falling off like it did with the Gotham. But the Gotham is newer, and this one is several months old. And this one is several months old. I've used it quite a bit, so you can see the surface after a while. It doesn't just fall off as easily. And I've actually taken pretty good care of this. I've never used abrasives or harsh sponges. It's just over time the surface isn't as non-stick as when you first get it, but I might let it sit a little longer. The biggest complaint I've seen about both the Gotham Steel Crisper Tray and the Copper Crisper is a lack of recipes. Now the makers will tell you that you can use any recipe that you'd use with a baking pan or other oven items, but all you have to do is just not flip them halfway through. I've found that because they're not in direct contact with a flat surface, they may need to cook a little bit longer than the instructions state. For my third item, it's time for some breaded chicken strips. Once again, we got the Gotham Crisper Tray and the Copper Crisper. I've got these breaded chicken tenders, 6 on each. Throw it in there for $4.25 and see what happens. All right, about 15 or 20 minutes and we'll see how they go. All right, they've been in there for a little over 20 minutes and it's time to take them out. Huh, okay. It's Gotham Copper Crisper. I've made these before and they didn't quite look like that. I'm kind of not sure because they don't look like how they looked the previous times I've made them. So I'm gonna see if I can flip them over and take a closer look. It seems to be cooked on both sides. All right, this is made in the Gotham Crisper Tray. I think that it's done. It looks done to me. I've made these before. They don't look quite like I'm used to having them look, but let's see how they taste. Crispy. Tastes pretty good. For this particular recipe, I just follow the same recipe I usually have used on a baking sheet. I just didn't flip them halfway through, and it seemed to turn out pretty good. On both the Gotham and the Copper Crisper, they seem to have cooked all the way around. I think it did a decent job. I did have to cook it a little bit longer than usual because it's not up against a flat surface, it needs a little bit more heat. But other than that, it was about 25 minutes instead of 20 minutes. Other than that, I think it came out pretty good. All right, I wanted to show you how they look after being in the dishwasher. What I did was the last dish that I made, to test these out, I only rinsed them off and stuck them in the dishwasher and ran them. So here's how they look after a cycle in the dishwasher. This is the Copper Crisper. So as you can see, they're not perfect out of the dishwasher. It does require a little bit of hand scrubbing to get them completely clean. It seems like the nonstick coating in the Copper Crisper is not as good as it was when I first got it, and I'm assuming that the Gotham Steel will probably follow that same route. I'll give you an update in a few months to let you know how the Gotham Steel Crisper Tray is doing. In the end, I don't see a significant difference between the Gotham Crisper Tray and the Copper Crisper. They both seem to be well suited to heating things in the oven or reheating items in the oven. You can make fresh food with these crispers, but you might need to play around with the time and the temperature a little bit, but people seem to be kind of divided on this. What do you think? Please subscribe for more as seen on TV product reviews in the future for me, James White with Freakin' Reviews.